Welcome back to another episode of Bassing with Captain Lou. Today's a special outing. It's a beautiful fall morning out here. It's breezy, it's cool out. And I took a lure that I have yet to do a video on. I haven't fished this lure in about 2 to 3 years. But this lure right here, you cover a lot of water with it. I've actually caught my personal best bass out here in the Everglades with this particular lure. I want you guys to stick around, but I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of a hint. That's right, stick around. I'm gonna talk to you guys about this lure. Welcome back, gang. I know it's been a minute. It's a beautiful fall morning. It's very breezy. It's cool out. I had to take my jacket off a little while ago. But like I said in my intro, I haven't fished this lure in quite some time. But when I do use it, it's extremely fun. It actually caught my personal best out here in the Everglades. But instead of dragging on and on and on with the surprise or anything like that, the lure that I'm talking about today, spinnerbaits. That's right, good old spinnerbaits. You're talking about catching big fish and sometimes catching a lot of fish. This guy right here will do that. Stick around, I'm gonna go ahead and cover the nuts and bolts about spinnerbait fishing out here. So the spinnerbait, it's not a year-round lure for me. I usually take out the spinnerbait usually around late fall, winter time, early spring, when the bass are out searching for food and when they've come back into the canals again. Because the profile of this lure is just the perfect size of like a brim and some of the fish that the big bass go after. So again, it's more of a seasonal type of thing for me. So stick around. I'm going to show you how I break down the bite with it, how I fish it, the outfits that I use. It's going to be a pretty informative video. Now this is a decent bass right here. This is decent. Really choked up on that spinnerbait. So why the spinnerbait? I get to cover a lot of water with this lure. It's a ½ ounce, so I can sling it a country mile. I get to cover a lot of water, plus I get to use and fish the water column how I see fit. And what do I mean by that? Meaning I can fish this on top, I can wake it on top, I can fish the middle of the water column, and if I chose to, I don't do this often or do it much at all really, is I can slow roll it along the bottom. I don't do that because out here that attracts mudfish, and trust me, you don't want mudfish to grab your nice spinnerbait. It's not gonna come back the same to the boat. So what I like doing is I like fishing the middle of the water column and the top of the water column with my spinnerbaits. I haven't been able to coax a big one, but these are fun. Especially, I mean, I enjoy fishing spinnerbait. Again, I don't fish it often, but when I do, it's very fun. Especially the way I do it, because I like to wake it. So you see this big wake, and all of a sudden, the spinnerbait just suddenly disappears because the bass just swallowed it. So notice how I do it. My cadence, I just wake it. If you allow the blades to come up too much, then it blows out, and then the spinnerbait starts to spin around. But you got to keep those blades just enough under that water, and keep constant retrieve to keep that wake going. And as soon as it cleared the vegetation, the bass just came up and hit it. So that was pretty fun. So let me show you guys what I'm talking about. I'm gonna cast over there so I can show you guys exactly what is it I'm talking about. And then I'll zoom in on it. You take your cast, and as soon as it hits the water, I'm already retrieving. I got my rod up. There he is. Oh, I just had one again. So as soon as the spinnerbait touches the water, I'm starting my retrieve. The reason for it is because this is a ½ ounce. This will sink very quickly. So again, I'm just gonna cast it. As soon as it touches the water, my rod is up and I'm retrieving. You're gonna see the wake on top of the water. And I just keep it constant right on top of the water, that blade there. And I just keep moving it along. right there. That's what I like to see. I like to see that V in that wake, and then all of a sudden you'll feel the hit, and I just go ahead and set the hook because this bass is on. Crushed it. Look how he crushed it. It's a beauty. Look at that. Beautiful fish on the spinnerbait. So I know I talked about a lot about how to work and how to retrieve the spinnerbait, but I didn't go into detail as far as where to throw it. I did cover on one of my shots in particular, I was throwing it around spatter dock and I was throwing it around rock. So when you do that, you want to throw into those target zones and then slowly start your retrieve. If the bass is anywhere in the vicinity and they're going after bait fish or something like that, your spinnerbait is going to get hit really fast. Another thing that I like doing is I like throwing along vegetation points or structure points. And I like to keep an eye on that spinnerbait and work that point. And as soon as you approach that area, keep an eye on the spinnerbait, because if there's a bass in the area that's willing to get, he's going to smoke the spinnerbait. You're going to see your blades 1 second, and all of a sudden that bait is going to disappear. As far as hook setting the spinnerbait, as you guys saw, as soon as I feel the bump or the resistance or the weight, or I see the spinnerbait disappear, I pick up as much of the slack as I can and I lay into them. I do set the hook when it comes to spinnerbait fishing. And again, I'm using a glass rod today. I'm using a glass rod with braid and a mono leader. With the glass rod, I'm able to lay into the fish, and the parabolic bend of the glass rod helps keep the bass pinned on there for me. I give constant pressure, and I'm reeling, keeping constant pressure. If I feel like the bass is pretty good and it's running and surging on me, I go ahead and adjust my drag accordingly, but I keep constant pressure on the spinnerbait. The reason why I keep emphasizing that is because if the bass gets the upper hand on you and it starts to do a lot of head shaking, or it decides to come up and jump on you, if you don't keep that constant pressure on there, this lure is pretty big and it's pretty heavy, they will have a tendency to throw this spinnerbait. So I threw this particular color, which is a bluegill flash. Again, this particular spinnerbait is from Seabird Outdoors. You guys could talk to Mike. Mike's a great guy. He does great work. Let him know that his friends from AE Fishing referred to you guys, and then you guys could give him a call and talk to him, and he could square you guys away. But again, I just enjoy throwing custom-made spinnerbaits. This one here, again, it's the bluegill flash. You guys could throw whatever color you like. I like throwing the lighter colors, the colors that these fish chase after. I love throwing the golden shiner color, white, combinations of silver and white. Again, let the bass tell you what kind of colors they like, but in this case today, they were hitting this bluegill flash. So again, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I know I spoke a lot, I know I shared a lot, but when I come across something that's pretty good on the water, I just want to give you guys as much information as I possibly can, and to help you guys put some more fish in the boat, especially in these conditions right now in the Everglades. So again, like this video, share this video, better yet, subscribe. The community is growing. If you have any questions, please comment down below. If you guys want to know a little bit more about fall fishing techniques out here, go ahead and check out this video right here. Again, guys, thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves.